Hello to all. My name is Elena Danaan. I am an experiencer, contactee, and emissary for the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Today I am going to answer a few questions, and I wish to bring clarity. I also will give you updates about my work and some news from upstairs. I am in the process of writing a third book about my extraterrestrial contacts, which will be called The Seguidores. This book will contain the history, the true history of humanity, of Earth, archaeological data, but also clarification from the star people who finally decided to tell me the truth about what has been going on Earth. Also, I will relate all my contacts with the Seguidor races from the Intergalactic Confederation, and also with the nine plasmic supra-consciousnesses who live out of the created universes. They are the direct link from Source, and they are also the 9 manifestations of Source. I will also go over the topics of the arcs, the Hall of Records, and quite a lot of information about the Anunnaki, Atlantis, ancient Egypt, and so on. I am doing my best to finish it soon. This is for my work at the moment, and also I want to inform you that I will participate to a conference as a speaker on October 21st to 23rd in Orlando, Florida. You can find the link below to book your tickets. I will speak about the technology we use in the Galactic Federation of Worlds that will improve considerably the advancement of humanity of Terra, Earth. And I will be delighted to be a guest speaker as well with Dr. Michael Sala, Sir Alex Collier, Tony Rodriguez, Jean-Charles Moyen, and a few other disclosure, brave emissaries. And I will be there. And Alex Collier and Tony Rodriguez and Jean-Charles and everyone will be there, speaking the truth freely, together. No one can stop us. No one can stop the truth. No one can stop disclosure. Truth is like thunder. You cannot silence it. So I will meet you in October in Orlando. And that's going to be good. Also, I wanted to rectify some misunderstanding and confusion about the gray hybridization agenda. These hybridization agendas have been going on, performed by Nebu, Gray, from the Orion constellation, mainly led by the Eban. The Eban are from Betelgeuse, and they have the help of the Mithra from Megapay or the Andromeda Galaxy, and also the Kili Tokurt from Vela. These despicable people are using small grays that they have enslaved, notably the Xrog from Zeta Reticuli, and also some Solipsirae factions that they have also assimilated. All they want is to assimilate our race, humans, and they are doing that on many other planets, but this one is very special because the humans of Terra have been bred with 22 different DNAs. And if they manage to crack the codes of this compound, they can open intergalactic portals, interdimensional portals. They can be very powerful because we are. Well, they've been breeding hybrids since the 1950s, even probably before, but officially since the 1950s. Why have they been breeding millions of hybrids every year? I mean, millions of abductees producing hybrids every year and several times a year. Working like a factory to do what? To produce a race of hybrids that will be able to replace humans of Earth because able to live here, but also the difference is that these hybrids are connected to the Orion hive consciousness, the Orion queen, the red queen in Orion. So these hybrids are hive consciousness. They are connected to Orion, and if they are on Earth, they will connect Earth to the Orion hive. We cannot connect a human soul to a hive consciousness. It doesn't work. To do so, we need to modify the DNA and modify the structure of the genome. And that is done through technology that is being put, can be put in a body. But that is, speeding up the agenda. What is happening is that these hybrids, they try to breed themselves in. The Greys breed themselves in. They are asking now that we welcome these hybrids. It doesn't work anymore because the Galactic Federation changed the Prime Directive, adapting it to this situation. But what they do also, and I find this is despicable, unspeakable, unnameable, they use emotions from the mothers. All these women who have been abducted against their will, terrifyingly. It's terrifying. It's painful when you are raped by instruments in a spaceship with horribly scary beings around you, and they have no consideration for you. They just take your genetic material, and you're considered like a cow, like a factory animal, thrown back into your bedroom. And a few months later, they're going to scrape the baby out of you and do it again and again and again and again. They are using these mothers, abducting them sometimes in the process to present them some of the hybrid children. Well, maybe not theirs. Anyway, that they create an emotional bond. That all these, this need, this to have children, this despair that they have, they feel, and they cannot have children on Earth. Sometimes they have children on Earth, but most of the time they are sterile from all these procedures. And some women just, they can't even live with that and end their days. They present the babies to the mothers, that they create an emotional bond, and they take it back from them. That the mother craves for the bond with her child. And this bond will be an anchor for the hybrids to be on earth to come, because this anchor is a welcoming, is a consent. How evil is that? There are at the moment all these narratives coming out saying, welcome the hybrids, they are us from the future. They're not. They want to be us from the future, but they're not. The future is human. It's not gray hybrid. The future is human. Okay? So these are lies. And they are using wounded, poor women, mothers, to pass their agenda. And these women will be the ones who will promote it. Welcome the hybrids back on earth. Welcome them among us. Because why? Because they crave for the bond with their own child. Hybrid child. So these women will be the ones on the forefront of their agenda promoting it. How can you promote the agenda of people who have been abducting you, abusing you, and using you as a factory cow, and you know it? How can you promote their agenda? Because they trick you. I know it is very hard. You need to cut the link. You need to cut it. Cry, grieve, grieve. Remember why this child was made. What for? Not for you. Not for them. Otherwise you'd live with them. No, these children are boards. They have an AI consciousness. They are linked to a hive. And if they're here, they're not going to call you mommy. They're going to work at destroying this world. Stand up. You've been abused. Stop validating their agenda. The grays have gone. But still, there's this quantum link with the hybrids that are somewhere, that they want you to welcome them back. So that is despicable. Anyone, and it's always women, mothers, who promote the gray agenda, the hybridization agenda, are victims of abuse. I wouldn't recommend to support these narratives, but instead surround these women with love, compassion, and try to explain to them that they are not alone. And why not replace this bond, this craving, by adopting a human earth child? There are so many children in orphanages. Go and adopt one of them and give this child, this human child, all the love you want to give to your child. A human child with a human consciousness who's craving for love, for a mother. Adopt these ones. Cut the link with the hive. Stop validating and consenting to your abusers. Alcyone is a star from the Pleiades cluster, which is a cluster of stars, young stars. The Pleiades have been formed way, way after this solar system has been formed. All of the stars in this galaxy revolve around a central sun, a central vortex. Not really a sun, it's a vortex. And this is the reality. Nowhere in this galaxy there is a star system and other star systems evolving around it. Okay, triple star system, quadruple star system, such as Alpha Centauri, Sirius, yes, but when they are really bound by laws of attraction, because they are very near to each other. This star system, the Sol system, is older, way older than the Pleiades cluster, and is certainly not revolving around the Pleiades. It should have revolved around it before the Pleiades existed, which doesn't make sense. So Alcyone's central sun is a nonsense. Now let's go deeper in what Alcyone is. Who lives on Alcyone? Alcyone is the center of what we call the Tal Shiar. The Tal Shiar are Pleiadian renegades from the ancient star system of, well, still there, Ashara, Taygeta, who have rebelled and turned to the enemy. Okay? They allied with the Draco reptilians, they allied with the Nebu, and they are fighting against the Galactic Federation of Worlds, working for the Nebu agenda, and they are not our friends. So all the information coming from Alcyone is not to be trusted. I also remind you that a few different sources, serious, valid sources, mentioned that Pleiadian from Alcyone worked with the Nazis of the Dark Fleet in Antarctica. So here we go. Solar flash activation. We are in a solar minimum, and whatever cycles the sun has, this will not be influential on our consciousness, on the evolution of our consciousness. What we call the ascension is a personal, individual process that happens at different stages, different speeds, different paces for everyone. No cosmic event is going to do the job for you. This is, again, something that is meant to tell you do nothing and wait. Period. The med beds, because you will always ask me about the med beds. Well, they are mass produced on the moon in the ancient Lunar Operation Command and other bases on the moon, and they are started to be put in place on Earth, but slowly, slowly. And as long as the deep state will hold places, this will not be, massive wave of med beds everywhere, because nobody wants the deep state to, destroy the project. So it's be done slowly, slowly. Now, be very careful. Med beds are supposed to be free, and it's a medical procedure, and any private companies who sell med beds or med bed treatments, be very aware, because now it's the time of the scammers. They want your money. So I will be very careful and vet and be extremely careful before giving any money to anyone. July 2022. I know that there will be changes in the awareness of the star people. Some revelations are to come. These revelations are astronomical. It will be proven that life exists on other planets. And that will be a great step into the disclosure and into the contact, because once it is official, the official science recognizes extraterrestrial life. Well, now people are getting ready for contact. So July will be an important step, not contact, okay, but just a step in the awareness, a crucial step in the awareness of the existence of extraterrestrial lives and even civilizations. A lot of disclosure is also about to come from the Earth Alliance about the secret space program. So keep tuned. It's coming. Talking about the Earth Alliance and contact and extraterrestrial people, I am going to give you some news of the people I am in contact with. So Thorhan Eredian has been working on Mars, helping settle the colony of Alpha Centaurians who were there to help new human colonists there. I got to see Mars through his eyes. I haven't been there. I wasn't authorized because there were humans there of Terra. So if it was only galactic people, I would be allowed. But because there were humans, I wasn't allowed because human rules. But I got to see a bit of this colony. It was amazing. These big domes, these biodomes, the ETs have always called them Eden. And Eden is a garden in the sky. Thorhan is now working on securing the new technologies, not the new technologies, but the technologies that have been newly extracted from the moon, Luna, Earth moon. These technologies, as I spoke about in my last update, these technologies are there since the moon arrived in our star system, and it is biotechnology. It is alive. It is like the outskirt of a sheep. It's alive, and it's loaded with consciousness, but it's artificial consciousness, and it's living being. And this is a technology that we haven't yet approached on Earth. It will come when the bodies will be gone. Well, I mean, the human bodies. You know, there's a lot to come, a lot to come. My other contacts, well, Jen Han has become famous recently because of a show I did with Dan Willis. Jen Han is Thorhan's little brother. He's a student in terraforming. He's on ERA in the Pleiades. And he's been answering a few questions from Dan Willis. And we lately made a show about this. Sunday, June 12th, we taught everyone how to use crystals to embed a positive timeline into the fabric of space-time and of reality. And it worked so well. There were more than 1,700 people. We just spiked the Schumann resonance at the same time. It teaches you that you have the power to affect your reality. Crystals are amplifiers of thoughts. But at the start, it's not the crystal that does the job. It's you. The crystal is there as a transponder, as an anchor into the fabric of reality, into the planetary matrix. But you do the job. So I advise, if you have watched this video, the link would be below as well, that you do this every day, at least 5 minutes. A Vogel crystal is, of course, the best, but quartz, clear quartz of any shape works as well. Other people I'm in contact with, Myra, she is still working on a science station. I've seen Gaia, her adopted child. She is magnificent. She's grown up. These children grow up so fast. Gaia is not hive consciousness. She is a hybrid, a human hybrid. She has a human consciousness. This one have been adopted, and Gaia is healthy, and she's still doesn't speak. She communicates only by telepathy, and she's a very interesting girl. Now Valnek, Commander Valnek has been, which is not commander anymore, he's been reassigned somewhere else. Well, you know, they keep the title of commander as in their reference. Now he's, since December, actually November 2021, Valnek has been reassigned to a different star systems, doing another job regarding to the person he was in contact with who's been compromised. So I put the link on the article I made about that. Well, I haven't had any contact with him because nobody from Earth has any contact with him. No one. So I have news from Thorhan. And Thorhan told me that Valnek is very happy in this new job, far away, and he recovered. He recovered. So I hope people soon realize that persons who pretend to be in contact with him are just making things up. So that is still of actuality. What can I tell you now about the arcs and the cedars? The arcs they have activated and the crews are waking up. You, incarnated in these bodies, many of you are souls and beings from the Intergalactic Confederation, incarnated here for these times. And your original body is in stasis in these arcs. And you know it. You felt it when the arcs activated. When the cedars arrived in our star systems in October 2021, it activated the arcs, but also you, because you are made of the same soul as them. I'm talking to the few who are the crew of these ships, these arcs. These people from the Intergalactic Confederation, they have, when you reach a certain level, you can commune with the matrix, the consciousness of your species, that you all attune to each other. It is not a hive. The difference with a hive is like a web with a spider in the center. Okay. Connected consciousness is all individuals connect to each other. It's like the trees in a forest, all connect to each other, but everyone having their own individuality. Many races of the cedars are like this. And when they approach, you can feel this collective consciousness, all hearts beating at the same time, all this community, this collective. And if you are once part of them, you reconnect when they approach. I will explain further about this in my book with all the details, how this is functioning and why and how. Reconnecting is remembering, as well as remembering is reconnecting. You remember who you are. And this is the most formidable adventure. all of you who are from the Intergalactic Confederation here on Earth have come here to be participants in this final victory. You signed up for this, and now you know who you are. You knew you were an envoy or starseed. You knew that before they came back in October 2021. But many of you didn't know where they came from. And some of you realized they came from a distant galaxy and that they are meant to play a role in these times. Listen to your heart. You are the activators. You, the crews of the ships. Reconnect with who you are, and you will be guided to the ark. These are times of great victory. We've come so far, crossing all the battles and the ages of time to see the uprising of human. This is the moment we've been all waiting for, when we can finally stand up and watch the rising light at the horizon of our future. Terra liberated reverses the timeline of servitude for the whole galaxy. This process cannot be stopped now. It has begun.